Today I will tell you some moral stories on priorities in life. So let's start. The jar of toffees, the lion that ridiculed others, the selfish rhino, the monkey and the buffalo, the most beautiful child, the sandfly, Uncle Tom and his neighborhood, Mary and her passion, phobia of the pool, the farmer and the snake family, the big wise cats, the king and the sage, the packet of biscuits, priorities in life, the vendor. The jar of toffees. Emma was a preschooler. One day during the Diwali festival, she went with her mother to her aunt's place to distribute Diwali's gift. Emma enjoyed playing with different toys there. In the evening, when they were about to leave, her aunt brought a narrow mouthed jar full of toffees, offering them to Emma. She said, "Take as many as you want." Emma's mouth watered. Plunging her hand into the jar, she grabbed an overload of toffees. Now, Emma's fist filled with the toffees was much bigger than the mouth of the jar. Resultantly, her hand got stuck in it. She turned the jar right and left, tried to push and pull it with her free hand, but all in vain. Seeing her daughter in trouble, Emma's mom suggested, "Emma, don't try to bite off more than you can chew." Mukta now knew the solution. She let go of the toffees in her fist, picking one or two toffees at a time. She filled her pockets with them. Moral: grabbing too much at a time can put you in trouble. The lion that ridiculed others. A lion, Shetil, was helpful but arrogant. He ridiculed others' animals, especially Jagga. The elephant, he poked fun at his heavy build and slow movement. But the composed Jagga never reacted. One day there was a terrible storm. Most animals took shelter in a huge cave. Later, the storm blew so hard that a babul tree fell in front of the cave, blocking its entrance. When the storm passed, the animal stuck inside the cave shouted, "Help, help." On hearing the cries, Sherdil ran to help out. He tried to clear away the tree but couldn't, and somehow his hand got stuck their hands under the huge tree trunk. Sherdil was unsuccessful and was crying in pain. Right then, Jagga happened to pass by and saw the chaos. Judging the situation at once, Jagga assured the trapped animal and Sherdil, "Don't panic. Lifting trees is a cake walk for me. I will set you all tree within second." Effortlessly, Jagga lifted the tree with his trunk and shifted it aside. Sherdil now knew that everyone has his her own strength, including the heavy weight Jagga. Moral: everyone has a purpose in life. The selfish rhino. Fatty, a rhino, lived in a forest. He was a foodie. Once hungry, he would eat everything that lay in front of him. One day, all the rhinos decided to go on a picnic. They all settled for a pool lunch. During the outing, while everyone was playing, Fatty was busy enjoying the variety of food brought by their rhinos. Everyone got tired and decided to have lunch, but to their dismay, hardly any food was left. All the rhinos were furious at Fatty's selfishness and decided it's high time Fatty was taught a good lesson. As part of the plan, a chef rhino threw a party and prepared a cake with soap in it. When Fatty came, all the rhinos charged. "Oh, what a delicious cake! Let's play first and enjoy it after a while." Fatty could not resist the cake as soon as his fellows were out of sight. He ate the cake all by himself. Soon bubbles started oozing out of his mouth. All the rhinos were back now. They saw Fatty and burst into laughter. Fatty felt ashamed for being selfish. Moral: selfishness and greed can leave you without a friend. The monkey and the buffalo. Once there lived a buffalo in a farm. A mischievous monkey also lived on a tree in the same farm. Though the heat troubled the buffalo all the time, the latter never complained. The monkey and the buffalo were always the topic of discussion among the other farm animals. They would say, "Why on earth does the buffalo tolerate the monkey's pranks?" One day, tired of seeing the monkey teasing the buffalo, they asked him, "You are much stronger than the monkey. You can easily teach him a lesson. Why do you suffer in silence?" The buffalo smiled and said, "Surely I can teach him a lesson any time, but I am learning from him to have more practice, more patience. This has enhanced my personality so much that now I don't get angry easily. Rather, I want to thank him for this." The monkey that was sitting on the tree overheard the conversation. The repentant monkey apologized to the buffalo for his inappropriate behavior. The most beautiful child. Once the queen of a jungle, the lioness announced, "Tomorrow is a competition will be held where the most attractive baby of the jungle will be awarded a prize." On the day of the competition, all the mothers brought their babies and gathered at one place. All the babies were dressed beautifully and looked very smart. Among all the young ones, there was a black baby rat that looked unpleasant. The other animals commented, "What an ugly baby! It can never win the prize." The mother rat was deeply hurt. Cuddling her baby in her arms, she said, "No prize is as valuable as you are to me." Queen Lioness was observing all the animals silently. Soon the competition started. Queen Lioness studied each baby carefully and in the end announced, "The winner is the baby rat." Hearing that all the animals looked at her with questionable eyes, Queen Lioness explained, "Seeing from a mother's eyes, her child is the most beautiful," and the affection and pride with which the mother rat was looking at her child was unmatchable. Moral: for a mother, her child is the most valuable gift. The sandfly. A sandfly used to live on a tree that was in a park. He was amused at the way animals and people reacted when he stung them while they would stroll in the park. One day, the sandfly saw a cat sleeping on a bench just for kicks. He flew and stung the cat's head. Dead to the world, the cat didn't react, so the sandfly repeated his act. This time, the cat cried out in pain and leaped to her feet. The sandfly was gratified to see the shock in the cat's eyes. Now he urged for more fun. So the sandfly flew towards a man resting near a bush. But as he drew near the man, the buzzing sound alerted him. The man lifted his hand to hit the sandfly. To save his life, the sandfly flew backwards towards the bush. Unfortunately, a spider had spun its web there. Unable to notice the web, he got caught in it. The spider quickly crawled to the sandfly and killed it. Moral of the story is, entertainment must not harm anyone, it can prove costly. Uncle Tom and his neighborhood. After exploring many places, Uncle Tom finally zeroed in and built his house in a beautiful location in a hill station. The area was lush green, filled with green plants and tall trees. Soon, many people got attracted by the beauty of that area and started building their houses there. Unfortunately, they did it at the cost of the trees, eventually, not many trees. were left in the neighborhood. Uncle Tom got worried. He wanted to do something but didn't know what his first move should be. One day, Uncle Tom saw a group of pupil children planting saplings along the road just outside his house. His eyes brightened. The next day, Uncle Tom bought some saplings from a nursery. He planted them along the roads and also around his house. He watered them daily and took good care of them. His neighbors noticed him involved in this task daily. They not only lent him a hand but also brought more saplings and planted them all over the neighborhood. Within a month, the sapling started growing. Soon, the neighborhood was filled with life and greenery. So, moral of the story is preserve and nature nurture the environment, which will save everyone's future. Mary and her passion. Mary was just 10-year old with a passion for cooking. Her mother decided to enroll her in the famous school of cooking. To get admission in that school, every student has to pass an entrance cooking test. On the day of the test, Mary was preparing a salad. She had planned to use vinegar in order to get an edge over her competitors. Suddenly, there was a cracking sound. Mary turned around and saw that the boy working behind her had broken his vinegar bottle. The boy sobbed, "Without vinegar, I would not be able to pass the test." Unhesitatingly, the soft hearted Mary offered her bottle to him. By the time the boy returned the bottle to her, the test got over. Though Mary had enhanced her dish using other ingredients, she doubted if a salad had the spark to get her thoughts. After some days, the result was out. Mary couldn't believe her eyes when she saw her name topping the list. Later, one of the judges told Mary, "Your dish was good, though not exclusive, but considering a student's attitude along with cooking skills. You were outstanding." So, moral of the story is nothing can stop a talent from being noticed. Next chapter is Phobia of the Pool. Many years ago, there was a prince named Moon. He was 7 years old. One morning, Moon was playing in a garden. He fell into it. The guards quickly saved him. However, it turned out to be traumatic for Moon, for he would tremble every time he saw the pool. The king and the queen were worried about their son's phobia. One day, Moon's grandfather visited them. The king told his father everything and asked, "How will he overcome his fear?" The grandfather assured him, "Don't worry, I shall handle the matter." The next day, Moon's grandfather took him into the pool. Moon tried to run, but his grandfather said politely, "Don't worry, you are safe in my hand." So Moon closed his eyes and started splashing his limbs in the water. This was repeated for many days. One day, to his utter surprises, when Moon opened his eyes, he found himself at the other end of the pool. He didn't realize when his grandfather has loosened his grip and he had swum there by himself. That was the end of Moon's phobia. Moral of the story is take the bull by its horns, whether it is to overcome a phobia or fear. The farmer and the snake family. A mother snake had her home in a sugarcane field. It was a safe shelter for them as the sugar canes were tall enough to hide them. One day, the mother snake said to her young ones, "Now the sugar canes are ready to cut. We shall soon have to find another home for ourselves." Some days later, the young snakes heard the farmer talking to his wife. "I shall call my relatives to cut the sugar cane tomorrow." They shared the information with their mother and said, "It's time to leave the field, mother." But the mother snake said coolly, "Don't worry, he is asking help from others. Surely he would not be coming tomorrow at least. Till then, I will find another shelter." The next day, when no relative turned up, the farmer said to his wife, "I don't think my neighbor will also help. So it's better to do it myself tomorrow." The mother snake heard the conversation. She instantly went to her children and told them, "Get ready, we are leaving right now to another home that is across the field." Never be so moral of the story is never be dependent on others to get your work done. Do it by yourself. The big wise cats. Once upon a time, a jaguar and a tiger had a dispute over a deer. They had hunted together in the morning. They were arguing as to who between the two would have the first bite of the hunt. A fox that was watching for a distance decided to take advantage of the fight and grab some portion of the meat. The fox first went to the jaguar. Trying to butter him up, he said, "You are the strongest of all. You have the right to taste the meat first." But contrary to what he expected, the jaguar replied angrily, "The fight is between me and the tiger. I don't want any interference, so just go away." Then the fox approached the tiger, hoping to get some importance. He said, "You are the mightiest of all. You should have the privilege to eat first." But the tiger too growled, "I don't need your recommendation. The matter is between me and the jaguar. We shall solve it ourselves." The fox understood that the big cats were not only powerful but wise too. So, the moral of the story is don't let a third person take advantage of your fight. The King and the Sage. A king named Austin was known for his wisdom. Once a sage visited the king, intending to test his intelligence. The sage was holding two garlands in his hands, one made of real flowers and the other of paper flowers. The sage asked, Austin, Your Majesty, without touching these garlands, recognized which one which one is made of real flowers. The king examined the two garlands carefully. Still confused, he said, They look exactly the same. The sage waited for some time. After deep thought, the king smiled. He ordered his guards, Hang both these garlands on the window facing the garden. The guard did as told. Soon some bees flew and began hovering around one of the garlands. The king immediately pointed out without doubt the garland on which the bee are hovering are made of real flowers. The sage was impressed and said, Oh Lord, you got it right. You indeed have a good head on your shoulders. So, moral of the story is a wise man sees and thinks first and then reaches a solution. The packet of biscuits. A man arrived at a railway station to board a train to another city. The train got delayed by 2 hours, so as to pass time, he purchased a packet of biscuit and a novel to read. He kept the biscuit packet in his bag, then placing the bag beside him on a bench, he started reading the book. After a while, a woman with shabby clothes sat next to him. The man noticed that she was eating the same biscuit he had purchased for himself. Instantaneously, the man got angry and thought, The woman has nerves. She has stolen my biscuit and still has the guts to eat them in front of me. But then, being tender hearted by nature, he pacified himself. He seems very poor. Let her eat and enjoy them. After eating the entire packet of biscuit, the woman went away. Soon, the train arrived. The man put the book in his bag and boarded the train. Curious to know the end of the story, he opened his bag to take out the novel. He was shocked and felt guilty. His packet of biscuits lay in the bag just beneath the novel. So, moral of the story is before jumping to conclusion, always clarify. Priorities in life. Once a psychology teacher was teaching a class priorities in life. In order to demonstrate it better, the teacher picked up a glass and filled it with small pieces of rocks. She asked the student, Is the glass full? The student nodded yes. Next, the teacher put small pebbles in the glass. He shook the jar lightly and kept the pebbles rolled into the empty spaces between the rocks. The teacher asked again, Is the glass full? The student now said confidently, yes, of course. Thereupon, the teacher filled the glass with sand. The sand easily glided into the remembering space between the rocks and the pebbles. The teacher repeated, is the glass full now? The curious but confused student responded he silently, silently, yes, yes. On seeing the confused expression of the student, the teacher explained, imagine the glass is your life, the rocks your family and the health, the pebbles your job and the house. The sand would be the luxuries of life. If you have a family and good health, then only you can enjoy your job and house. If you can justify your job, then only you can afford the luxuries of life. So let rocks be your priority about pebbles. The sand will automatically find its way. So moral of the story is learn to priorities, then keep your priorities clear. The vendor. Naomi was traveling in a train with her 6-year-old son Ted. After covering some distance, a chips vendor with worn out clothes approached them. Ted insisted that his mother get him a packet of chips. Giving a dirty look to the vendor, Naomi said, no, no, we don't want anything. Go away. A few hours later, the train reached the destination. While getting out, Manu saw the same chips vendor sitting at the exit gate of the train. He requested his mother, please purchase something from him. He is so poor. Naomi again refused. As they were about to sit in a taxi, Naomi saw the same vendor approaching them indigent. She was about to slam the door in his face but stopped on seeing something in his hand. Handing her a toy watch, the vendor said, your son gave me this while getting down from the train. Then, handing her a packet of chips, he said, this is for him. Naomi felt guilty and thought, he may be poor, but he is better off with a bigger heart than mine. So, moral of the story is never judge someone on the basis of their appearance. So, here are some moral stories which I tell you. Hope you understand. Tomorrow will be also, I will be live. It's all about this book. There are 15 stories in one moral story book. It is a huge collection of 24 books. Every book contains 15 hand-picked stories, which not only take the children into the wide world of imagination but also teach them valuable lessons. These engaging stories will enable children to learn different positive values of compassion, respect, integrity, and responsibility, among others. Also, at the end of each book, they can decide on their best moral story and character. Enjoy amazing world of reading and learning. Thanks for watching.